Drip, drip, drip. I hear it in the silence of our bathroom. That maddening, steady tap of a faucet that's never been fully closed. Or maybe I just never bothered to fix it. Too occupied with other things. Too preoccupied with her. It's strange how I notice this now. At 3 a.m, phone in hand, staring at a screen that doesn't belong to me. She left it on the sink, the water dripping in the background while her reflection shimmered across that slick tile wall. And there it is, the image of her face lighting up, laughing so softly, all for someone else. She smiles in someone else's phone. I watch without moving, as though if I breathe wrong, I'll shatter the scene. My wife's features, the arch of her brow, the warm brown eyes that once looked at me with tenderness, are all turned toward a man who isn't me. His messages pop up with an affectionate tone I used to think was reserved for me. Words blur, but I see enough. Miss your touch. When can we meet? And her replies are just as damning. There's an attachment, a photo, and before my trembling fingers can stop themselves, I tap on it. A still frame of her. Hair messy, wearing that shy grin I used to think was meant for her husband alone. I should be angry, right? Furious. But I'm not. My heart beats slow and heavy, like a drum muffled by blankets. I feel cold, numb, and a single question echoes in my mind. How long have I known? Because deep down, I suspect I've known from the beginning. From the first time I smelled a cologne that wasn't mine lingering on her clothes. The first time she came home late, adrenaline coursing through her that she tried to pass off as work stress. The countless nights she turned away from me, half asleep, or so she said. I back away from the bathroom, phone still in my hand, careful not to make a sound. My breath is shallow, yet I force it steady. Why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel like I'm the one intruding, as if I'm reading someone's private diary, even though that someone is my wife? I swallow hard, thinking, I didn't cause this, did I? But the voice in my head retorts, maybe I did. Maybe you pushed her away somehow. I close my eyes and let the questions form. Are you certain you don't still love her? Yes, I'm certain I love her even now. I wish I didn't, but I do. I set her phone on the bathroom counter just as it buzzes again, a small beep that slices through the quiet. I don't look this time. I don't want to see the words or the photos. Not right now. Not at 3 a.m. with that damned faucet dripping in time to the ache in my chest. I walk out, my bare feet cold on the hardwood floor, and find myself in the living room. The overhead lamp is off, leaving only the glow from the streetlights outside. Our living room used to be the place where we had late-night movie marathons, back when I still believed everything was fine. Now it's just a silent arena. The couch and coffee table like spectators. I collapse into the armchair, exhaling. My reflection in the dark TV screen looks back at me, hair disheveled, eyes hollow. Do I ask her right now? Do I wake her up? My chest tightens. I don't want to face her, not yet. Because the next question pounds in my head. What if she doesn't even bother to deny it? By morning, I've half convinced myself it was just a nightmare. But the phone is still there on the counter, and she's stepping out of the shower, a towel wrapped around her. Amanda, my wife, the woman I married because I believed in forever. She catches me looking, and for a fleeting second, there's an expression on her face, something guarded, fearful. She must realize she left her phone behind. Must realize I saw it. Hey, she says softly, her eyes darting from me to the phone. Couldn't sleep. No, I answer evenly. Had a lot on my mind. She nods, forcing a little smile that never reaches her eyes. Same here, she says, then tries to brush past me to grab her phone. I let her. I don't block her way or snatch the device from her hand. There's a calmness in me that's almost surgical, like I'm dissecting a specimen on a lab table. She's the one who seems flustered, her fingers shaking ever so slightly as she swipes across the screen, checking for new messages. I think. Would she delete them if I asked to see? I suspect she would. I step back and close the bathroom door behind me, flicking off the light. The drip stops. Maybe she tightened the faucet. Maybe the silence is enough to drive me insane. But I keep it together. I always do. Exposition, they'd call it. This gentle unraveling of a life I thought was stable. Let me fill in the details. My name is Ethan Caldwell, 37, from Houston. I'm in Seattle now because I thought a change of scenery would be good for us, for her. Amanda Caldwell, née Rousseau, was the bright star of my existence. She's a marketing consultant, sharper than any blade I've ever known, with a kindness that used to be genuine. Until now, until I realize she's wearing a mask around me. And there's this other man, Jack Rivera, a police officer. The phone messages confirm it. His name, his uniform, the aftershave I smelled on her pillow, it all lines up. Where did I go wrong? Did I not show enough affection? Did I fail to be the man she needed? That's the question that hunts me as I go through the motions of my job. I'm an editor for a publishing house, but the words on my screen blur into nonsense. My mind is stuck on last night's discovery. She's had physical contact with him. I'm sure of it. I suspect it's not just once, either. The texts felt too intimate, too casual. I remember the day she said she wanted to work from home more often, claiming it would reduce her commute. Now I wonder if she was meeting him. I think about the time she came home wearing that faint metallic scent, the cling of something that wasn't just perfume. The dull ache in my heart intensifies, but I keep my face blank, keep my voice calm. Surgical, because if I let my voice break, if I let that single tear slip, it might never stop. That evening, I decide to confront her in a soft, understated way. She's in the kitchen, making dinner, spaghetti with a side of roasted vegetables, her usual. I watch her from the doorway for a moment, noticing how her shoulders tense as soon as she realizes I'm behind her. Smells good, I say quietly. She looks over her shoulder. Yeah, I thought we could have a nice meal, she replies. I feel like we haven't. Connected lately. Connected. The irony makes me want to laugh. But I don't. I keep my expression neutral. I saw your phone last night. I say, no fancy introduction, no anger, just facts. Her hand freezes on the spoon. She sets it down with a trembling motion. Ethan, it's not. The words come out in a flurry. Let me explain. It's not what it looks like. I step forward, slowly. What does it look like? Because what it looks like to me is you smiling, intimately, for someone else. You texting him about meeting up. And you, wearing that grin that I thought was reserved for our marriage. So enlighten me. Why am I wrong? Her bottom lip quivers. We're just friends, she tries. Jack and I. It was some silly flirting. That's all. I swear. Flirting, I echo, letting the word hang in the air. And how far does your definition of flirting go? She opens her mouth as if to speak, then closes it. Her eyes flick downward. It was a mistake. I had a few too many drinks once. It got out of hand. But it's over. It's over now. I listen carefully, scanning her face for any sign of honesty. I see guilt. I see anxiety. But also something else. Fear of losing the convenient life we built. I keep my composure. All right. I say softly. If that's what you want me to believe, I'll accept it. For now. A faint relief passes over her features. I want to scream that I don't believe her, but I'm too tired, too numb, too determined to gather the full truth. Because there's more, and I can feel it in every fiber of my being. She plates the spaghetti, and we eat in near silence. I taste nothing. She tries again, while swirling her fork in the noodles. Are you mad at me, Ethan? Her question is so naive it almost hurts. I glance up from my plate. I don't know what I am. I say calmly, my voice betraying nothing. What am I? I wonder. Am I angry? Sad? Disgusted with her, with myself? I can't find the answer. I'm afraid of it. A week passes. Each day, I wake up expecting to confront her again, to ask for more details. But I don't. Instead, I gather evidence silently. I notice that her phone is locked behind a new passcode. She's always stepping out for work calls, even though she used to handle them from the living room without a second thought. One afternoon, I see her slip out wearing a figure-hugging dress, one that I never see her wear around me anymore. She's put on lipstick a shade darker than usual, and there's a subtle tremor in her voice when she says, "I'll be back in a few hours." Okay. I only nod. Then I follow her. I'm not proud of it, but I need to know. I drive a few cars behind, paranoid she'll spot me. It feels wrong, sneaky, but part of me whispers, it's not wrong if it gives you clarity. She stops at a downtown cafe, the one with glass walls. I park on the opposite side of the street, leaning back in my seat. She meets a man in uniform, Jack. I watch them for a solid 20 minutes. They drink coffee. They laugh. At one point, she places her hand lightly on his forearm. He returns the gesture with a hand on hers. Just friends. Sure. And then they leave, walking arm in arm toward his car. My heart cracks at the sight. But again, no explosion inside me, just a quiet, cold sense of finality. I watch them drive off. I don't follow further. I already know where this is heading. I turn on my engine and go home. On the way, I stop by a hardware store and buy a new lock for my study. Don't ask me why. I just need a space of my own, a place she can't intrude on. Am I foolish to protect my boundaries only now? Late that night, she comes home wearing the same dress, but now there's a subtle hint of sweat on her collar, and that aftershave is even stronger. She tries to avoid my gaze, scurrying into the bathroom. I hear the shower turn on a moment later. Did she touch him? Did she do more than touch him? The questions swirl, each one slicing a piece of me, but I remain calm, each breath measured. She's in the shower for a long time. When she emerges, hair down, she stands in our bedroom doorway, wearing a robe. "I'm going to bed," she says, a quiver in her voice. "Early start tomorrow." I nod, still seated on the edge of the bed. "Sure." That's all I say. She climbs under the covers and turns off the lamp, as though darkness might hide everything she's done. I lay down beside her, so close and yet miles apart. The sheets feel cold against me. My mind replays the image of her hand on his arm. I don't sleep. Days pass like a film reel in slow motion. I carry out my routines, editing manuscripts, drinking coffee, exchanging polite nods with colleagues. All the while, that quiet surgeon inside me is dissecting every clue, every leftover trace of her betrayal. I start bagging little scraps of evidence, like the faint, intangible sense of him that cling to her clothes. I store them in sealed plastic, hidden in a box in my locked study. It's absurd, collecting smells, yet it feels like the only proof I have that I'm not imagining things. What's the final piece of evidence? I wonder. The answer comes sooner than I expect. One evening, I'm on a Zoom call with Amanda, ironically enough. We're supposed to be meeting with her mother to discuss a family issue, but Amanda has dialed in from another room. The camera flickers, and there's static. Then Amanda's face appears, eyes shifting nervously, and out of nowhere, she drops the bomb. "It's his baby, I swear." Her voice cracks, tears glimmering in her eyes. I go still, the words barely registering. His baby. My brain stalls for a beat. She's pregnant. With Jack's child. She looks at me through the screen, a ghostly flicker of regret shaping her features. The Zoom call is no family discussion. It's her telling me, with a calm-laced panic, that she's pregnant, and it's not mine. Or so she claims. I lean back in my chair, lighting a cigarette. The smoke curls around me, and for the first time in my life, I feel completely outside myself, watching from a distance. "So you're certain it's his?" I ask quietly. My voice is hoarse. She nods, wiping at her eyes. I messed up," she breathes. "I was lonely, we fought, You were distant. You never talked to me. And then Jack was there. He listened. I flick ash into an empty mug, ignoring the pang of guilt that tries to surface. She tries to lay blame at my feet. She must sense how broken I feel, so she attempts to feed me a justification. If you'd only loved me better, if you'd only done more, I wouldn't have strayed. The surgeon in me cuts through the nonsense. She made a choice. She glances away, tears rolling down her cheeks. I don't know what to do, she says, voice trembling. Please, Ethan, talk to me. Talk to her. I watch her for a moment. This woman, with those big, sorrowful eyes. I remember the first time we kissed, the day we promised to stay by each other's side. The road trips, the laughter. Is all of that worthless? Another question that I'm afraid to answer. How far along are you? I finally ask. Her lips part, and she stalls. I'm not sure. 6 weeks, maybe. I take a long drag from the cigarette, exhaling slowly. So you want me to raise his baby? There's a faint tremor in my tone, a slip of raw emotion I can't fully suppress. Why do I feel guilt? Maybe because I've been so silent, so cold. Maybe I played a part in making our marriage a lonely place. Still, it doesn't excuse betrayal. It doesn't excuse lying, sneaking around. She sniffles. I thought maybe. You're my husband. You love me. Right? We can fix this, can't we? Silence. Then I let out a small laugh, one that echoes with bitterness. The Zoom connection wavers. I don't know, I say. I don't know if there's any fix to this. Her face crumples. The call ends abruptly, and I'm left staring at a black screen. I stand and walk out of the room. I don't slam doors. I don't shout. I just exist. Things move quickly after that. She tries to schedule doctor appointments, begs me to attend, but I decline politely each time. There's an odd sense of finality in me, as though part of me left the marriage already. I replay that short conversation over and over. Her tearful apology, her plea that I love her enough to stay. Do I? The answer that stirs in my chest is painful. I do love her, even now. But love can't fix everything. One afternoon, a package arrives in the mail. A paternity test. She must have ordered it in desperation. It sits on the kitchen table, glaring at us both like an unwelcome guest. For a couple of days, neither of us touches it. She doesn't want me to open it, I think, because maybe there's a chance it's mine. Maybe she's clinging to that hope. I finally tear the envelope open. No preamble, no permission. The result stares me in the face. 0% probability. My shoulders slump, and I feel a hollowness in my stomach. His baby, I think. Another wave of guilt washes over me. Why guilt? Because I almost wish it was mine, if only to preserve some semblance of normalcy. I swallow, dropping the pages onto the table. Amanda is in the doorway, eyes red. It doesn't matter, she whispers, stepping closer. We can still. I hold up a hand to stop her. My voice is steady, yet each syllable feels carved from ice. We can't pretend this didn't happen. You're pregnant with another man's child. You lied to me repeatedly. So tell me, why am I wrong to leave? Her lip quivers, tears welling again. Ethan, please. I study her face, searching for the woman I married. I find only fragments. And yet, I still love her. It's an agonizing, twisted truth. The conflict inside me rages. Do I stay for love? Do I leave for self-respect? She tries to close the distance, maybe to hug me, but I step back, not angrily, just carefully, as though she's made of glass. I can see the heartbreak in her eyes, but I can't mend it, not without losing myself. I walk out the door, grabbing my jacket. I drive aimlessly, the city lights blurring until I find myself at a roadside bar. The place is dim, a neon sign flickering above the entrance. I slip in, order a whiskey, and let the burn anchor me. A television in the corner shows the news on mute, a silent war I don't care about. I swirl the drink, Then catch my reflection in the mirror behind the bar. Is this who I am now? A husband with no home, no trust in his wife. I rub the back of my neck, that subtle habit whenever I'm uncomfortable. My voice is a whisper to the glass. Why can't I hate her? No answer. After a few hours, I head home. The living room light is off. A note on the table says, "We need to talk." I ignore it and go straight to the guest bedroom. Sleep comes in fits. The next day, I see a missed call on my phone. The number is unfamiliar, but I know who it is before I return it. Jack. My stomach churns as I hold the phone to my ear. Yeah. I answer. There's a pause. Then his voice, low and uncertain. Ethan. This is Jack Rivera. I need to talk to you. Of course he does. What about? He clears his throat. You know what it's about. Amanda. The baby. I stiffen. The calm surgeon inside me snips away at the surge of resentment that tries to bubble up. If you're calling to ask my permission to raise your child, you've got it. I say in my tone flat. I'm out. He sighs, as though relieved and guilty at once. I'm sorry, man. It happened. I didn't plan it. Neither did she. I press my lips together, searching for that chill composure. Stop apologizing. It doesn't change anything. He tries again. Ethan, I didn't call to twist the knife. I called because I think she's in trouble. Emotionally. She's talking about not going through with the pregnancy. She's saying she can't handle it if you walk out. I don't know. She's not thinking straight. I close my eyes. Why is he telling me this? Doesn't he realize how messed up this is? I'm not a therapist, I mutter. She can do what she wants. I'm done. He exhales. I get it, he says finally. Still, maybe talk to her. For old time's sake, she loves you. He ends the call before I can respond. For a long moment, I stand there, phone in hand, my heart pounding in my ears. She loves me. The notion tears at me, because it's a love laced with betrayal. Why does that hurt more than if she simply stopped loving me? Would it be easier if she hated me outright? I leave the house again, wanting distance. My car becomes a sanctuary. The road stretching before me in a gloom of wet asphalt and distant headlights. Every mile passes in a haze, and I think about the ways I could just vanish. Then I recall her tears, her trembling lips. She regrets it. Does that matter? I don't know. That night, Amanda tries to speak to me in the hallway. She stands in front of me, blocking my path to the guest bedroom, her eyes red-rimmed from hours of crying. I'm sorry, she says, voice cracking. I don't know how else to say it. I look past her, noticing the faint circles under her eyes. Then don't say anything, I reply quietly. Her hand darts out, grabbing my arm gently. I need you, Ethan. Please. I'm scared. I swallow hard, trying to keep that calm veneer. Scared of what? That you'll leave and never come back. That I'll never see the man I fell in love with again. Her voice wavers, and for a second, I see the woman I used to adore. Am I that man anymore? Another question I can't answer. If you thought about that before, I begin, but I can't finish the sentence. My voice hitches. I catch myself, forcibly smoothing the tremor away. Look, I can't be what you need right now. She squeezes my arm. I messed up. I know that, but I love you. Her voice cracks again, tears spilling down her cheeks. Is it wrong to hope you still love me back? My chest tightens painfully. I do love you, you idiot. But the words don't come out. Instead, I gently remove her hand from my arm. Just give me space. She lets me go, tears shining. Neither of us moves to wipe them. We stand there for a breathless moment before I turn and walk away. A few nights later, the scene changes. She suggests a talk via Zoom again, as though the digital separation might keep our emotions in check. I agree, maybe because I'm tired of seeing her cry in person. She appears on my screen, hair pulled back, face pale. I went to the doctor, she announces. I'm healthy, but they said the stress could complicate things. I nod, giving nothing away. Okay. Her hand hovers near her mouth. Jack wants me to keep the baby. Says he'll support me in any way he can. But I never wanted a broken family. I never wanted to raise a child in a messed up situation. I stare at her image. Don't you see we're already broken? But all I say is, why am I involved in this decision now? She flinches. Because you're my husband. We made vows. I still believe we can salvage something. I look down, rubbing the back of my neck. My reflection in the Zoom feed is bleak, colorless. I'm not sure you realize how deep this cut me. She stifles a sob. I know. I hate myself for it. Silence envelops us. Then, quietly, she adds, isn't marriage about forgiveness? About working through even the worst mistakes? I exhale. I suppose it is. But forgiveness isn't guaranteed. Sometimes the damage is irreparable. She covers her face with her hands. The conversation ends shortly after, with no resolution. I close the laptop. Do I even want revenge? Another question that weighs heavy. Or do I just want out? Days later, I find myself drifting through my life in a fog, until the moment she calls me at work, voice trembling. Can you come home? Her tone is urgent. Now. Please. I swallow. Why? Because I need you, she whispers, on the verge of tears. I just need you. I hang up, uncertain why I comply. But I do. My boss glances at me, concerned, but I wave him off. I drive home, anxiety gnawing at my chest. Did she do something drastic? When I walk in, I smell the faint trace of something metallic. Panic surges inside me, but there's no blood that I can see. Then I realize it's her. She's sitting in the living room, eyes red and puffy, a foam on the table in front of her. She must have spoken to Jack again. Ethan, she croaks, her voice frayed. I approach, cautious. Amanda, what's going on? She looks at me with a hollow stare. I'm pregnant with his child, but all I can think about is how much I love you. How messed up is that? She releases a broken laugh. I hate what I did. I hate myself. I step closer, sinking into the couch across from her. She tries to reach for my hand, and this time, I don't pull away. Our fingers brush, and it's a jolt of memory. Her wedding ring, still on her hand, catches the light. She continues, voice trembling. I thought I needed excitement, passion. Jack was new, thrilling. You seemed so distant, working late, not showing me the same affection as before. I was lonely. God, it sounds so stupid when I say it out loud. My eyes search hers. Am I partly to blame? Did I forget how to show her love? The guilt rears up again. Could I have prevented this? She whites her cheeks. I never stopped loving you, but I convinced myself that you didn't want me anymore. And Jack was there, giving me attention. So I let it happen. Now I'm paying the price. I take a steadying breath. My voice is low, measured. What do you want from me? Her gaze locks with mine, desperation shining. I want you to come back to me. I'll do anything. I'll end the pregnancy if that's what it takes. Or, she chokes on her own words. A cold wave of revulsion sweeps through me at the notion of trading a life for my acceptance. Don't put that on me, I say firmly. That's your decision, not mine. She nods, tears rolling down her cheeks again. I'm so lost, she whispers. I shift my gaze to the window, the afternoon sunlight flickering across the glass. She's lost, but so am I. Then I hear a knock at the door. Amanda looks startled, glancing at me. I move to open it, finding Jack standing there in his uniform, a pained expression on his face. Hey, he says, voice subdued. Amanda texted me. She said she was going to do something drastic, and I raise an eyebrow. So you came to rescue her? He opens his mouth, closes it, then steps back. Look, I just want to talk. All three of us. I allow him in. Amanda stands, arms wrapped around herself. Jack exhales, setting his hat on the coffee table. A strangely intimate triangle forms: husband, wife, lover. The air crackles with tension. Jack looks at me, his gaze contrite. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, Ethan. I swear, I'm not a homewrecker. He falters under my stare. Maybe I am. But I never wanted it to turn out like this. Amanda trembles, tears still on her cheeks. Jack edges closer to her, but she seems uncertain whether to accept his comfort. Amanda, he says softly, I told you I'd support you if you kept the baby. I want to be involved, to do the right thing. But I can't force you. You have to decide. Silence. I watch them both, trying to keep my composure. My heart is pounding. Am I going to lose her to him? But the question that terrifies me is, do I even want to keep her if she wants me? She finally speaks, voice choked. I don't want to lose Ethan. But I also can't walk away from what's inside me. I'm torn. She looks at me, eyes pleading. Ethan, I'm sorry. I know I broke us. But do you still see any future? This is the moment. The climax. The question that everything hinges on. I run my tongue over my dry lips, the weight of my love battling the betrayal. Should I forgive her? Should I walk away? And then I remember the illusions we once held about each other, illusions that shattered the moment she touched another man. My voice is steady, but my heart cracks anew as I answer. I see a future for myself, Amanda, but I don't see one with you anymore. This child, it's not mine, and it's not the reason. The reason is that you broke something I can't fix. She sobs, her hands flying to her face. Jack steps closer, tries to console her, but she wavers between us. She looks at me with such desperation that my voice almost falters. I swallow, forcing each word out. I love you, I admit finally. Yes, even now. But love doesn't erase betrayal. Her sobs intensify. She tries to speak, but no words come. Jack closes his eyes, drawing a slow breath. He glances at me, sorrow etched into his features. I'm sorry. I really am. I nod. I know. But that doesn't change my decision. I turn away, heading to the bedroom. I grab a suitcase, stuffing clothes haphazardly inside. Amanda stumbles after me, tears streaming. Ethan, don't. Please. My chest tightens so hard it hurts. I freeze, suitcase half-packed. Amanda, I say quietly, voice on the verge of breaking. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. She collapses onto the bed, face buried in her hands. Jack hovers in the doorway, guilt painted all over him. I close the suitcase, snap it shut. The finality of that sound is deafening. Is this my revenge? Perhaps it is. To walk out, leaving her with the burden of her decisions. No screams, no violence. Just quiet, calm departure. It's worse than anger, I suspect. Anger can be argued with. Silence cannot. I walk out, passing Jack. He says nothing as I go, eyes lowered. I step onto the porch, the crisp Seattle air hitting me. I'm free, I tell myself. Then why does it feel like my heart's been ripped out? The question stays with me. In the weeks that follow, I rent a small apartment downtown. My life is a series of boxes, half unpacked, scattered across the living room. My mind's a mess, filled with memories. The day I proposed on a hot Texas afternoon, the tears of joy in her eyes, her laughter echoing under the wide-open sky. The irony is so thick I can taste it. We were supposed to build a future. Now I'm alone. She calls me sometimes, leaving voicemails. I rarely pick up. Sometimes, I listen to her voice trembling through the speaker. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm going to keep the baby. Jack wants to be part of our lives. But it's not the same without you. Our lives, She lumps us together, as if we can still function as a family. That's not my family. My family was lost the moment she gave herself to him. Another question gnaws at me. Did I do the right thing by walking away? Could I have stayed and made it work? But I know I couldn't. Trust is a fragile thing, once shattered, rarely healed. Eventually, she stops calling. I assume she's moving on. Maybe she's finding a new normal with Jack, planning the arrival of their child. I wonder if she'll think of me when the baby is born. The guilt I feel is that of an unintentional conspirator, like I left her alone to deal with the consequences. But then I remember. She chose this, not me. I quell the guilt, or try to. Months pass in a slow swirl of routine. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Every so often, I sense that old wave of heartbreak, but I keep it tamped down. Then one morning, I receive a text from Amanda's mother, asking if I'll join a Zoom call to talk. Against my better judgment, I accept. She's still my mother-in-law, though the bond feels tenuous at best. When the call starts, Amanda is there, looking pale and swollen around the eyes. She's undeniably pregnant now, a gentle curve visible, and it hits me like a punch to the gut. I mask my reaction, offering a curt nod. Her mother greets me politely, then tries to orchestrate some sort of truce, talking about how love can conquer all. Not always. I remain quiet. Amanda's mother eventually sighs, giving up. The call ends. Amanda lingers on the line, looking at me. She tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. I'm doing okay, she whispers. I moved back to Phoenix to be near my mom. Jack is still in Seattle, but he's making arrangements for a transfer. Or so he says. It's complicated. I see, I say, every word neat and measured. I hope you get what you need. She breathes shakily. I miss you, Ethan. I just thought you should know that. The old ache surfaces. I miss you too, I confess quietly. Her eyes widen, tears threatening. I continue, voice trembling just a bit. But I won't come back. She closes her eyes. I understand, she whispers. And I'm so sorry for everything. I nod, the lines on my face deepening. So am I. We exchange a final gaze, hers filled with sadness, mine with resigned acceptance. Then the screen goes dark. That's the last time I see her. In that moment I realize that I do love her, probably always will. But love can be powerless in the face of betrayal. Time moves forward. Months turn into a year. On a random evening, I sit alone in my apartment, the drip of a faucet echoing from my small kitchen sink, a mocking reminder of that night I first discovered her secret. I get up to tighten the tap. This time, I fix it. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you can't let small leaks become floods. I let out a shaky breath, my chest tightening. Are you sure you're okay, Ethan? I'm not. But I'm living. I resume working on a manuscript, something about heartbreak and redemption, ironically. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. She had the baby. Healthy, 7 pounds. She's naming him Isaac. I stare at the screen, my heart constricting. It doesn't say who sent it, but I know it's from Jack. I set the phone aside. Good luck, I whisper to the empty room. Then I close my laptop. The night is still young, but I'm exhausted. It's in these final moments, reflecting on everything, that I realize revenge can take many forms. Some men would have raged, destroyed everything in sight. Some would have tried to sabotage the lover's career or publicly humiliate their wife. But I've done none of that. My vengeance was to take back my own life, calmly, methodically. Leaving her in the space of her choices was punishment enough, perhaps for both of us. I step out onto the balcony, letting the cold Seattle air sting my face. I look at the city lights. I think about the good times Amanda and I shared, about the memories that shaped us. I let the sadness wash over me, tears collecting at the corners of my eyes. My voice trembles as I speak to the empty sky. Goodbye, Amanda. The tears spill, but I keep talking softly. I wish I could hate you, but I can't. Maybe that's my real punishment. I still love you, even now. A weary smile flickers on my lips. The guilt, the pain, the heartbreak, they're all part of me. But so is a certain peace. I did what I had to do. I told the truth of my hurt. I walked away. And now, as the nighttime breeze bites at my skin, I realize I'll carry the memory of her forever, like a scar that never fully fades but doesn't bleed anymore. I inhale, filling my lungs with the cold air. Then I exhale, releasing something I've held onto for far too long. My eyes close, my muscles unclench. The night is quiet, the city humming below, and for the first time in ages, I feel a sliver of acceptance. Maybe tomorrow will be better, or maybe it won't, but it will be mine. And this time, I won't let the faucet drip.